Okay, so here's a little thing. I've already got the filter in, but this is something that A got brought to my attention after the fact by a gentleman from the name Cuban Rider on YouTube. I thought I had all the bolts because it looks like initially, here's this bracket that holds, here's the entire, let's see if we can't do a wide angle here. All right, it looks like it's pretty easy. And then we also have this little bolt here. By the way, this more decorative than anything. I mean, it does hold this little plastic piece and the rubber grommet that keeps you from rubbing the tank raw like a bad porn star using no lube. But besides that, really the point is, this bolt, I got this one, and by the way, this wire that I'm holding, Satan's little nemesis, this one out, and thought, okay, well, I should be good, because I got these two out, and the tank moved very freely. I could go up and down, but I could never get the rear section. Here's the thing, is that you want this one has no place, so don't touch it. But this one back here, you want that one, and on the opposite side, you'll see over here, that one. You want all four of those, and then the tank comes loose to try to get your air filter. So if you get those, then the air filter comes up. You'll have complete access. Once you get these two off, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. You get the tank up. Make sure, by the way, just, I know it sounds stupid, but common sense. When you're taking out the bolts, that the screws really that hold the actual air filter box, use one of these things. They are just, I mean, godsends, because all it takes is tipping the tray up, screws go everywhere, you lose them, and you think, oh well, it's a bike, they're not going. Yeah, no, I built enough cars and bikes. Just get you one of these things. They're cheap as hell. Also, you know, the other thing, if you don't have it, you don't always have to, but one of these, this is one of the styles of magnetic grabber. The other one laying there on the floor, just keep those. They're wonderful, but the other thing is that for the amount of hex heads, which is pretty much all you're going to use, I use a Milwaukee set, and I got to tell you, this quarter with a magnetic is a lifesaver. Oh my God. Trying to get that bolt that I'm talking about in there. Oh, dude. And the other thing is this from the factory is held in place right up against where that bolt is with a plastic little clip. Only way you're going to be able to, you can get it out with the clip in, but trying to get it back in, I promise you, you might be able to do it, and man might walk across water. If you're Jesus Christ, Buddha, whatever, that's great. Otherwise, I would really get that plastic bracket out of the way. Move this wire. It is so frustrating, and it doesn't need to be. But once you get these 4 bolts, then you can do this, and you can remove the filter and get it in so much easier. Oh my God. I mean, because you have to hold the tank, shimmy it in such a way that you can actually get the bolt in place. And by the way, please always, coming out, you know, you can use a power tool, but going back in, do it by hand. I don't care how frustrating it is. Don't just be like, oh, well, it's easier for me to hold it on and I can get it in with, you will double thread, cross thread, ruin something. Then next thing you know, you're spending thousands of dollars you know, having something retapped, and it's not worth it. If you can't do it by hand, then I've literally had to walk away a couple of times. I can't tell you, even on this project, because I didn't have the right tool at the moment. It was stupid on my part. I should have just gone with this. I started out using this, which is a great tool, but unfortunately this stupid socket, which I think really any time these days, sockets all should either have a O-seal, O-ring seal, or magnetized, but they don't. But this thing from Milwaukee, completely magnetic, and there's a seal in there, so it held it, and it allowed me to get in there and finally get that back bolt. It took me forever, and it shouldn't have. This should have been, now again, if I'd have done this before, had any experience, this is my first Triumph. Yeah, so there's also that. But and the other thing is I've got a lot of other things. This is my personal garage at the moment. I'm helping a family member go through some personal things. I cancer, so I'm not at my personal house. So my garage is full of my tools, and I have a lot more at my disposal. Here I'm doing makeshift work. We're still doing a fine job, but that's less the point, less the matter. Really the whole point is just try to help you. Hey, if you're going to do this, if you're going to go in, replace the air filter, which I always think, if you're going to do something like an exhaust and free, because engines are pretty simple. Not obviously that can be oxymoronic, but if they're going to breathe well out of the exhaust, you want them to have enough air coming in through the intake. Now, I could, and we'll see, run into a code to where I'll take it up to my shop, which, by the way, Eurosport Cycle, Fort Worth off Sylvania, they know their stuff. They're very, very good. But I may end up in a situation where I get a fuel dip because all of a sudden I've gotten so much more airflow into this thing. Yes, it's flowing good on the exhaust side, but that's only one part of the engine and one part of the cam. The engine and the computer wants way more, and it deals with way more information than that. And I've seen so many times, especially with carbureted bikes, oh my God, that you really get to see the difference between, an EFI and a carbureted, especially in those situations. We're just changing, headers and exhaust, and then it was tuned specifically for that bike with that exhaust and those, carb jets. And then you change, and you could add a $4,000 Krapovich system, Terminiani, any of those, and they run like crap, and they have these huge lulls and dips in the mid fuel section or air, where thankfully, in an EFI system, they can go in the computer, alter the jetting of, the fuel injectors, whereas in carbureted system, it's much harder. These cams and heads are dealt in more of a neutral setting. I know it's going to be kind of, it's true and not true in kind of a sense, but in thinking wise, it's a little bit more, because they want the they can get a lot more airflow, but they can deal with it on a much easier basis with EFI computers, ECU, or however you want to refer to it. But anyway, so that was the main thing. I wanted to get it out there. Those are the bolts you look for. This is a very, very simple job to do. Sorry, things the way that they've kind of worked out, I wasn't able to record the entire job. But the thing that I did run into the most, I wanted to bring up. Also, by the way, there's a lovely little plastic, there's a clip here and a clip here that they're on the tank, and then there's also a rubber grommet. When you lift the tank up, go ahead and take those away. But also this bar here, before you even start the job, go ahead and take some if you have it in your area or whatever, it's used masking tape for painting, and you want to put it across here and across here, because these brackets that hold this right here, they are very, very prone to scratching. And you don't want to scratch up and leave this ugly. I mean, I've got one tiny, but here's the product. By the way, if you do run into this, scratch out. Sounds like horse crap, as seen on TV. Best product on the world to taking out superficial little scratches like that, because all that did is scratched the clear coat. It didn't actually scratch the paint. You wipe it across there, and boom, it's right back to the way it was. So that's just information if you're gonna do this. So again, this was kind of a windy one, but Leviathan Army out. Hopefully this helps you. If you have any more questions, I will be as helpful and try to answer as much as I possibly can. Thanks again to Cuban Rider, who helped me. I kind of missed a few steps through his video of doing it. He kind of went in a different direction than I did. But regardless, we got the same result. Anyway, I also wanted to say, let's see if you're interested. The DNA, let's see if I can get the glow to, okay. Yeah, so if you're interested in the part number for this bike to get the air filter, here is what you want. And it's the DNA air filter for 2021-2022 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS. And that should cover all that. And by the way, it does come in with instructions, but it's very simple, very straightforward. But if there is a question, feel free to ask, and I will do my very, very best to get back to you ASAP. But anyway, there's the information. Hope you have a nice day, and to the next video, bye.